post GP of Shanghai. Here we are discussing together about this Grand Prix. Not lots of things happened, actually a pretty boring race. And I'm gonna answer to your tools that you sent to me on my main YouTube channel. So first comment is slippery race but amazing performance from Max. Well, you're absolute right. The track was pretty slippery because it rained just a few hours before the race. We expected before the weekend to rain, maybe beating the race as well. I hope, to be honest, for it, so the race would be a bit more chaotic with the strategies and etc. Didn't happen, but the track was still pretty slippery, as I said. What we can say also about Max Verstappen, we're gonna start with him at this point. What an amazing performance, really masterclass for him. He overperformed this weekend as well with his Red Bull that, okay, is designed on him. I think the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, because it's designed on him, is like second best team. The Red Bull for all the other drivers is like sixth best team. It's just unrivaled for them. Max is an island. Max is just a legend, super fast. We saw in particular in the qualifying, there really made the difference. He was 90 milliseconds up coming into the middle sector, and then in the last sector he just did a mega difference in the last chicane to get pole position by 12 milliseconds on Lando Norris, and then the race was just perfect, no mistakes. Managed the DRS gap from lap 1, actually in 3-4 corners he was already 1 second ahead of Norris, which allowed him to manage as much as he could the race with pushing, but not by taking lots of stupid risks. What a performance by the Dutchman that now is only 1 point behind Lando Norris. What is the difference? Max Verstappen is not driving the best car. Piastri and Norris are. I see lots of comments actually. Very good and nice one. Verstappen, simply lovely. Okay. Another comment is, you know what? Yes, I got spoiled before I watched the full highlight race. Sorry, bro. Sorry if I spoiled you. You just don't have to come on YouTube and watch YouTube if you just didn't see the race. But you didn't miss anything. Just one of the most boring races in the last years, probably. If it was not for Hamilton and Ajar, that obviously Hamilton passed Ajar. We're gonna discuss about this later, obviously. The first-time drivers were the same as the grid start, so very boring. The only less annoying thing was Alonso the overtake at the first lap, I think it is. It was, yes. And then Norris and Verstappen in the pit lane. We're gonna discuss obviously about it later on as well. Unbelievably boring, literally nothing happened in top 5. Couldn't even watch to the end. You're absolutely right. We discussed about this. Basically nothing happened. We were live, as I said, on this channel, and I had to eat something to stay alive because I was almost falling asleep. I'm not joking. So kind of a very boring race, actually. Nothing happened. You're absolutely right. Tsunoda, driver of the day, ruined everything for me. Exactly, you're absolutely right, man. Why Tsunoda, driver of the day? My god, he's driving a fucking Red Bull and he's P12 after starting P15, I think. Yeah, what a comeback! 3 positions. Obviously is because all the fans are Japanese there, but driver of the day, you can vote all around the world, so I don't understand it. But okay, you can saw the driver of the day. That obviously Max Verstappen deserved it, in my opinion, obviously. Also, Antonelli did a mega race. We're gonna talk about him. But Max Verstappen did just a miracle. We're gonna talk about Antonelli at this point. I mentioned him, so let's talk about him. What a great race. What a great weekend for Antonelli. That started not the best. Russell was really strong. Then Russell did that mistake in qualifying that cost him a P2, P3, probably. Maybe P4. Probably ahead of Charles Leclerc. And Russell so managed to qualify just behind his teammate. And managed to finish only 1 second behind his teammate. And became also the youngest ever leader in a Formula 1 race. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. But what a great weekend for Antonelli. Fast his lap as well for him. Yeah, just amazing performance by Andrea Kimi Antonelli, that is showing race by race, improving that he can become a really talented driver. And I'm happy for him because I'm Italian. At least one satisfaction in this 2025 season. Only pit stop between Max and Norris was good. After that, boring day. Boring, we already discussed about the boring stuff today. Actually, yesterday because I'm recording on Monday, but okay. Yes, the actual, as I said. Let's discuss about that. Let's discuss about that collision. That wasn't a collision, but that almost was between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Who was fault? Obviously, Lando Norris just, as Verstappen said as well, completely drove into the grass by himself. Obviously, he was trying to get Max a penalty, actually. Obviously, how can you have a penalty for what Max did? He just drove just in the right direction, what he had to do. Lando Norris tried to do actually something, but to Max Verstappen you do some types of things. You know, Verstappen just was on his line, couldn't go much more left, obviously, because he would cross the white line and it would be a penalty for that probably. So obviously all Lando's fault. That I don't know why he did it, but he tried to, I don't know, to just get a penalty on Max, but never happened, to be honest. Okay, stupid Norris, to be honest. Let's discuss at this point about the McLaren. The McLaren weekend, they were obviously the favorites and the fastest as well. And if one of the McLarens were starting on pole position, would probably win by a bit of margin, to be honest. McLaren that had to do much more than a P2 and P3, to be honest. They had to win, but there is Max. That's Max, a billion, Verstappen, that obviously makes the difference on that car. Basically, they didn't get pole position, and so the race was really hard to overtake. Strange to see that they didn't do different strategies like Ferrari did, Leclerc and Hamilton with different tires, or like a Mercedes, like Antonelli stayed out for much more to try something different, to wait maybe for a safety car. They could try something on these, and they did just the same strategy as Red Bull. And if you want to win that race, I don't know, then we have to discuss right now about the team orders, or not, about Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Oscar was faster than Lando Norris this weekend as well, like in the race I'm talking about. Like in Australia, he was, basically. So very good Piastri, and obviously in China that one. Very good Piastri in this first part of the season. He needs to manage a bit more the results, actually. But why they didn't do the swap, I understand them, to be honest, because if you want to look at that race in particular, okay, Piastri was maybe faster, but then you have to overtake Max Verstappen on track. They could try, actually. I think they could try to let Oscar pass, to see, and then if not, if he doesn't pass Verstappen, then he gives the position back to Lando Norris. I don't know, but I don't really go against McLaren for this decision, because thinking about that he had to overtake Verstappen as well, that we saw no overtakes basically from other drivers. You really need it to be much faster, like 4 times faster probably than the car I had to try and overtake. You couldn't basically wait. The difference wasn't that much, so that's why. And I understand McLaren in this way. Talking about Ferrari right now, my favorite team, let's go. Charles Leclerc did the maximum he could do probably with his Ferrari. Destroyed his teammate again. Charles Leclerc is fucking destroying. Okay, he's my favorite driver, but this season he's actually destroying Lewis Hamilton, apart from the sprint race of China. Let's wait, obviously, but Hamilton, very bad weekend, my god. Very bad weekend. P8 in qualifying, that I can't understand. Mistakes, okay, but he wasn't as fast as Charles. Charles did the miracle lap to a P4 with that car, it's crazy. I was happy for a P4, that's very pain, to be honest. But, yeah, Ferrari that needs to understand this car, actually. They will bring upgrades probably in Bahrain. And I want to discuss also about why to change completely the 2024 car? I know it's easy to say now, to be honest, so sorry if I say this, but you know, you were P2 in 2024, there with McLaren. Actually, in the race pace, you were almost there with McLaren. The only lack was the qualifying. If you just continued in that project, focusing on how to improve the qualifying, well, they would probably have a better car. I don't know. And to change the front, I think it's front, yeah, it's the front suspension, to change it on the last year of these rules, I don't know if it's the best thing to do. Probably it's also because they're gonna use it obviously in 2026, and so they're gonna have data and etc. to focus and to develop much better the 2026 car. Which if he's in this way, I understand much more obviously, but yeah, just I have, you know, this year I'm not supporting Ferrari, I'm supporting Verstappen, to be honest, to try and win the championship, to be honest, because I don't want Lando or Oscar to win. Sorry, but it would be very, very painful for me that I'm a Leclerc fan, and to see Oscar or Lando in particular to win before Charles does it would be a pain, actually. So these were your thoughts about the Suzuka Grand Prix. Let me know down below, what do you think? We talked a lot about the top teammates. I want just to focus just the flop maybe of this weekend, that were obviously Hamilton, Sainz as well, very, very bad, and I don't know, let me know in the comments. And then the top of this weekend were Ajar, Mega Race, Max Verstappen, and I would say also Oliver Berman, that I think puts it in P10 is us. By the way, thank you so much for watching. Drop a big like, subscribe to the channel, and as always, it's been a pleasure. Cheers!